Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to As Told by Key. I am Key. If you are new here and you like what I do, please comment, subscribe, share these videos, get the word out. Tell your mama, tell your friends, tell your grandmama, tell your babies. Come watch me, come subscribe, come become a part of the family. If you are not new here, welcome back, family. How are you? I want to thank everybody that is subscribed to me, that follow me on social media, that said happy birthday to me. Thank you guys. I had an amazing weekend. I got some balloons and I got some food, and that's all you can ask for sometimes. You know what I mean? Got some time with my family. And now we are here to wrap up Love After Lockup. So, the way this is going to happen is part one and part two. Part one is going to be the smaller couples, the couples that may have not gotten as much airtime. And then part two, we are going to wrap up the two main stories, which will be Jonna and Garrett, Lamar and Andrea. So in part two, that is what that is going to be. So this one right here is just going to be the smaller couples that did not get a whole bunch of airtime, so that we can wrap everybody up in a nice little package and put a bow on it. Thank you guys for following me with this journey. I appreciate it so much. I did not think that I was going to get so many reactions and so many views from my videos, and I just want to say thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. So let's just jump into this, the season finale of season one, Love After Lockup, from prison cell to wedding bells. This is going to be a good one. So let's start with Alla and James. Last time we seen Alla and James, Alla was going through a relapse, and James did not know how to handle it. So in this episode, we are catching up with James after this. This is he's reading a lot of the letters and things from when they were pen paling together, and he says that he loves Alla and that's his dream girl. And he makes a comment about nightmares can be dreams too. And so that says to me that James is just more concerned about his feelings and how this is affecting him, and he's not looking at Alla. But we've been saying a lot of that anyway. He's been trying to push her the whole season. He's been trying to push her to do things that she doesn't want to do, and I genuinely believe that's what made her relapse, because she couldn't handle all that pressure and she didn't want to be the thing to let him down. But she ultimately ended up letting him down because she relapsed. Alla did turn herself into her PO, her parole officer, and she went into rehab. So I was happy for that. So after James lets us know that she went into rehab, we catch back up with them 3 months later. Alla is home. She looks healthy. She looks blessed. She looks like she's been eating. And she says that she was in a really dark place and she just can't understand why. And after spending some time going through recovery, she said she was still going through recovery and still seeing someone about her drug use, that she's happier now, and she and James are trying to figure it out. And yeah, she just that's what Alla tells us. But at the end of the show, when they do the little update, so where are they now? Alla is back in prison, but I think a lot of us already knew that because it actually ended up coming out. They say, WeTV said that despite Alla going to prison, her and James were trying to work it out and they were going to try to keep the relationship going. But I seen on Instagram, and I've been seeing around on the internet, that James has decided to leave Alla. He couldn't deal with it. It's too much. And she just brought a negative energy to his life that he didn't want to he didn't want to deal with. So as far as we know, they're not together, but WeTV tells us that they are. Whatever. I wish them luck. I wish Alla has a healthy and safe recovery. I just don't think people know how to handle. Like, he says it though. He says he doesn't know and has never been in a situation where with somebody that uses. So I think it's probably for the best that they're not together, because they are totally different sides of the spectrum. And I just wish them the best. So that's how we go off with James and Alla. Her back in prison, and WeTV telling us that they still together, but rumor has it they not. So let's get into Angela and Tony. Angela is at home and she is counting out her money, honey, counting out these coins. And she lets us know that Tony is on an allowance. He gets $200 a month to do with whatever. And if she feels like he's been a good boy, she'll send him extra. And if she feels like he needs it, she'll send him extra. And to me, I'm just like, I wouldn't be sending him 200, but all right then. She tells us that it's a financial burden for her, and after we watch her count out all her money, she leaves herself with like $40 to live off of. And I'm just trying to figure out why would you put yourself into a financial situation like that where you're only living off of $40? Like, who chooses that? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I get that you love him, but who chooses that? She tells us that she's not sure when he's getting out of jail. She also tells us, hold on, you guys, I might listen. It's been a crazy weekend, and I'm tired, and I'm drained, and water is my best friend. Mm-hmm. Best friend is water right now with ice in it, if you can hear it slushing around. Anyway, so she tells us that this is a financial burden, and she's okay, but she's okay with it because she loves him. She goes over to her friend's house to take some sexy pictures that she wants to send with the money that she's going to be sending him. And her friend Brenda, has been to jail before. And Brenda sits down and they have some orange juice, and I don't know what else they was drinking with that orange juice, but they have some orange juice. And Brenda lets Angela know, listen, 90% of people in jail that have pen pals, they just want someone to take care of them. They want to feel loved. They want to feel supported. And so when they start these pen pals and they start these letters, that is what it is about. She says that she had a couple of guys sending her money. She had a couple of guys helping her out. One of them even came and picked her up from prison, and she left him the next morning, like without him probably even knowing it. She said she was on the highway hitchhiking, trying to get away, because she didn't mean anything in those letters. She didn't really want to be with him. She didn't really want any of those things, but she did it because he was helping her out financially and emotionally and mentally. And once she got out of prison and she was free to go, she left. And Angela's like, you do understand that I'm not a dummy. You do understand that I'm not a fool. And she's like, no, baby, I understand that you're not a fool. And I'm just like, but Angela, baby, you are. You're a fool. She goes on to tell us that, Angela goes on to tell us that she believes that Tony is the one for her and she loves him. And she's not going to romanticize the situation. She knows that they're going to have problems. They're going to have issues. And that when he gets out of jail, they're going to be together and they're going to be happy. But he's not going to leave her. And that's what makes her a fool. Tony doesn't even know his release date. Tony doesn't even know, or he does, and he's just not telling you. And this is going to roll us into the next couple. Unlike Scott and Liz, you don't know nothing but what he tells you. And I want you, if you ever see this video, you probably won't, but if you ever see this video, Tony is definitely using you for money. And if he stays, it's because he doesn't have a choice and he has nowhere else to go. Angela, I wish you the best. It ends with them saying that Tony's still in jail and Angela doesn't know when he's getting out. So, yeah. And like I said, that rolls us into Scott and Liz. We get with Scott. He is in the house and he is preparing to call or take a phone call from Liz. He has to drop this bomb on her that the new charges that's up against her is going to probably get her 8 to 12 years. And he just doesn't know how she's going to handle it. Liz calls. She says, I called you a couple of times. Like, what's going on? He's like, look, I got bad news. And she's just like, it sounded like she started crying almost immediately. And he's like, the charges that's up against you, it's going to probably get you 8 to 12 more years. And she starts crying. I mean, bawling her eyes out. And Scott's like, I don't like to listen to you cry. I don't want you to like hear me cry. I have to stay strong for you. She is in tears and she's apologizing and she's telling him she didn't mean to mess up like this. And Scott's like, I know, but we're going to get through this. And she's like, I don't think that you're going to stay with me. And for me, it was almost manipulative. Okay. And it's like, are you going to stay with me? Tell me, Scott, are you going to stay with me? And what feels like forever, Scott takes this long pause. And then he finally says, yes, I got you. I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to hold you down. And I die just a little bit inside. Because Scott, stop it. Like, I want to, Scott, real quick. You know what I mean? This girl is using you. You have access to all her stuff because you're paying for her lawyers. You have to have access to all her stuff. You have her case files. But that doesn't equal I love you. That is, this man is paying for my lawyer. He has a bunch of clothes home for me. He's going to give me a car. This is the ultimate trick. This is like a pimp finally marrying one of his whores. And right now, you're the whore because she is pimping you. You're paying for lawyers. You're paying for her commissary. You're paying for this and this and this and this and this. And of course, she's going to come home. And of course, she's going to stay because you're convenient. And it makes me feel so bad for Scott because he doesn't see it, even though the rest of us do. She doesn't love you. If you're a few months from getting out of jail, why the hell would you go buy drugs? Why would you continue to put him in a position knowing that he's not going to tell you no, by the way, to get you a cell phone? You're setting yourself up to stay there because this is the ultimate. This is the ultimate. You don't have to work. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to pay taxes. This is the ultimate. This is the ultimate setup for her. And I feel horrible for Scott. And the way that the show goes off with the update for them is that she's still in jail. He's still waiting. And she may get out at the end of 2018 this year. I wish you the best, Scott. I hope that she doesn't get that time. And I hope that she comes home and she, I guess, act like she got some sense. But I would not be surprised if Lizzie got out after Scott did all of this for her. And then she may give him a few good months of her time. And then she disappears. I just don't. I just don't. You know, like, you just can't help but to feel bad for Scott. And Angela, you guys are romanticizing, whether you want to admit it or not, whether you want to own it or not, you are romanticizing the situation, and that is going to be a problem at the end for you guys. You're going to get hurt. Let's jump into my couple. I have to. I love Mary and Dominic. She almost got under my skin. She almost made me go, damn, I was rooting for you guys. But she redeemed herself when Dom came by and she expressed her feelings in an adult manner, I think. And he did the same. And I was like, good. You guys figured it out. The first conversation was an argument and it was a heated one. She sounded a little selfish. But once he explained it to her and she had an understanding of what it was, they fixed it. And I'm happy that they fixed it. They are the only couple on the show that started out before prison. And I was rooting for them and they made it. It is the day of their wedding. They are getting dressed. And Dom seems nervous. But I think it's just that idea of just getting out of prison and hoping and praying that you're just making all the right decisions. And I think that's what a lot of Dom's nerves are. Is hoping and praying that he makes the right decision and that he's doing the right thing because he doesn't want to go back to jail. And Mary lets us know that they got a boat downtown Toronto in Canada. And they're going to elope on this boat. And it's going to be really small and really intimate because he doesn't want a big wedding. He's not in a place to give or get a big wedding. He's nervous. It makes him anxious. And so they decided that just the three of them, their dog Stella, Mary and Dom, they're going to go meet the officiant and they're going to get married. And while in the car, in the confessionals, Dom tells us, and it hurt my heart a little bit to hear him say it, but I'm still like not reneging on me being happy that they actually went through with it. That he was marrying her because she stuck by him, and that's like the least he could do. And I really hope that mindset has changed because that's not a reason to marry a person. I was with Aaron and I did a lot for Aaron, but I didn't want, like, don't marry me just because it's the least you could do. Marry me because you want to. You want to be with me. I don't want to be, I don't want like pity marriage, I guess it would be. And Mary kind of senses some of that. She says that she doesn't want him to do anything that he doesn't want to do. But she does want to marry him. And it doesn't matter how they get married. She just wants to be with him. And a bigger wedding can come some other time. And she also says that she sees that he's nervous and she sees that he's just not himself. And that she just wants everything to be better. And she wants to be his wife. And she wants to get a house and have kids one day and to just kind of move past this nightmare of prison. Dom is extremely nervous, but like I stated before, I think a lot of that is just trying to make sure that you're making the right decisions and you just don't want to F up again. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't want to be in a situation where you're doing something wrong and you didn't even know you were doing something wrong. Um, they get to the boat. She's getting nervous. He's nervous. They finally step onto the boat, and the officiant welcomes them, congratulates them, and has them read their vows. Which, by the way, is funny because Dom didn't want to recite anything. He was just like, I don't want to say anything. I just want to get married. She's like, I think you got to. I don't think you can get married without the vows. And the officiant, he basically tries to make them as comfortable as possible. I'm pretty sure there was a conversation off camera. And he did his best to make everybody as comfortable as possible. And Dom finally says what I've been waiting for him to say in his confessional. He says, we're married and I'm happy that we're